Hey guys, it's Bro You WACK, and today is probably going to be my last video that I just dedicate for Orisa for a long time, because yeah, she's a new hero. Of course I'm going to be covering her, but I don't want to just dedicate my whole channel for the rest of the week covering Orisa, because it's sort of, okay, so you ever have that one person that just got like a new dog or maybe a new cat, and they're always Snapchatting you, just always sending you pics or whatnot? Orisa is kind of like my dog, because I don't have a dog, as my girlfriend took my dog, and when she left me because I'm playing too much. I'm sorry, Brittany! I just want my dog Turbo back. But I do feel like I played with her enough to have a good general opinion about her, about what I think about her, because when she first came out, there was a whole group of people that thought that Orisa was probably the most overpowered hero in the game, and that just happens with anything, with a brand new gun, with a brand new champion, with a brand new hero, anything brand new in a game. A lot of people are gonna hop on board the OP wagon and just assume that that added thing is just gonna be overpowered, and rightfully so, because Orisa, okay, so I don't want to say Orisa is a completely different hero. When Sombra was added into Overwatch, nobody had the ability to hack. Nobody could just mess with the help hacks, so that was completely different. Orisa, she's kind of like a combination of a bunch of heroes that makes her a different type of hero. I mean, she has a Reinhardt barrier, she has a Zarya-like Halt ability, she has a Fortify ability, which I don't, it's kind of like Zarya's bubble in a sense, and she has an ultimate that's sort of like Mercy's power-up ability. So she has so much going on for her that just kind of makes her different than all the other heroes, but she's somewhat similar to all of them, and that's just kind of confusing it. But if you look at it like that, she's just a combination of all these types of heroes, but that's kind of what a lot of people are thinking that makes her overpowered, is because she has just a giant toolkit. But the reason why I feel like that she's not the most overpowered hero, and people are going to have different opinions, and that's totally fine. I respect your opinion, and you should probably respect mine. Some people are going to think that she is so powerful, but the reason why I feel like she's not this overpowered hero is because if you look at the word overpowered, if you look at the root word power, she doesn't have a lot of power, i.e. damage. If you look at a hero like Bastion, that guy deals out a lot of damage, especially when he first got his first initial buff. He was overpowered. I'm going to come around and say that he probably was one of the most overpowered heroes because, one, he could deal out the most damage in the game. Sure, he couldn't get headshots, sure, he couldn't get critical damage, but he can still deal out the most consistent, heavy hitting damage, right next to maybe Soldier, McCree, maybe Genji, but he was just the heaviest hitting hero, plus he would not die because of his Ironclaw ability. And then soon enough, nerfs came that made him a little bit more underpowered. Orisa, on the other hand, if you look at her gun, it's not the most heavy hitting gun, right? It's not like McCree's where it's just consistent pop shot, heavy hitting damage. I kind of see it sort of like Soldier 76's gun, where it's not the heaviest hitting, but if you can aim for the head and be consistent with it, you're gonna still deal out steady damage. And that's how I kind of picture Orisa's gun, because it's not like any other gun that we've seen before. And I always try to compare it to like the Genji stars when you're throwing it in a straight line. You have to kind of lead your shots with it, because if you're just at a farther distance, say at like 10 meters, and you're aiming for the head, more than likely the shots aren't gonna go where you're aiming at. So you kind of have to lead with it and kind of aim more to the left or to the right, and also just calculate the distance from you to the enemy. So it's really hard, and it takes a lot of practice. And as someone who does practice Orisa and practice with her new gun, and they're consistent with the headshot damage, yeah, they're gonna see Orisa as this overpowered damage dealing hero that can do a lot more, but that's because they put in the time and effort to practice this brand new gun that we've never really seen before. Maybe if they play Genji, or maybe if they play maybe Zenyatta, or just someone that has to take a lot of lead into consideration, would see a lot more consistency with her shot. And not to mention even her toolkit, which this is what makes people think that she's overpowered. But if you just look at her first thing, which is her barrier, the reason why I don't think her barrier is the most powerful thing about her toolkit is, one, because compared to a Reinhardt barrier, it can't move. Once Orisa does place it, it's stuck there for at least 8 seconds. So again, once the Reinhardt moves, the barrier moves along with it, and that can also just protect a lot more people. Once Orisa places it down, you're kind of stuck with it, but again, her cooldown kind of negates that a little bit. Someone who is smart with their barrier, who isn't just willy-nilly just throwing her barrier all around, is gonna make the barrier a nuisance for the enemy side. Plus, it's also half the health of a Reinhardt barrier, I think maybe 55%. I'm not good with math, okay? Divide 900 by 2,000, that's the percentage right there. So it's not as powerful, but again, it's negated because of the cooldown. And then her Halt ability. Her Halt ability is, I think, okay, that's a powerful ability, because it's sort of like a graviton in a sense, and it's always by her side. I don't know what the cooldown, I want to say 10 seconds. I'll put all the cooldowns on the screen right here so I can correct myself in editing, but since her Halt ability is always by her side, usually, it can just bring bring enemies towards the cliff and just bring them down. If you're on maybe Lijiang Tower and you're on the bridge, if you're just able just to use your hold ability right next to the bridge, you can bring 3, 2, 4, just how many people are by the bridge down right there. When beforehand, if you wanted something similar to like that, you would have to use a Lucio boop, or you would have to use a Pharah boop, or you'd have to wait for Graviton to bring them off the cliff, where that's not really consistent. At least here, Orisa can time it a little bit, and you can just be a little bit more smart with it. Again, it's just knowing when to use that halt ability, and you just see that throughout her whole entire toolkit, just knowing your situation around you and just knowing when to use each type of ability. That a lot of people are going to think, oh my god, this Orisa is so overpowered, oh my god, we can't deal with the Orisa. That's where it's going to be a nuisance for the enemy team. And then last, her Fortify ability. I think this is a weird thing, because this is a very, very powerful ability that makes Orisa more of an attacking tank. If she didn't have this Fortify ability, I would see her more as a defensive tank compared to like Reinhardt or maybe Diva. Now, because she has this Fortify ability, she can move forward past the Reinhardt barrier. Sure, it is 50% reduced damage, so she still can die, but still 50% of that damage isn't being made towards Orisa. Bruh, if you're supported in the back with an Ana and a Mercy, this Orisa will not die. And plus, if it's good with its aim, if a player practices their aim with Orisa, they're going to be dealing out a lot of damage. It's going to be a kill heavy Orisa, and I think that's the beauty of Orisa, because if you want to use her as a defensive Orisa, you can. If you wanted to use her as an offensive Orisa, you can. And I think more of the offensive Orisas are going to be seen as this overpowered hero. But again, it's just being smart with it, just being smart when to use your Fortify, because if you just go ahead before the Reinhardt barrier, if you just go ahead of them and you use your Fortify, you can still die. If they have a Reaper, if they have like someone like maybe a Zarya or something, just pretty much anybody that can focus you, you're most likely gonna die. So you just have to be smart, but you can still deal out damage just because of that Fortify ability. Plus your holds, plus your barrier. There's a lot going on with Orisa. So I don't know if changes are gonna come in the near future. I don't know if there's gonna be an added cooldown to her barrier. I don't know if there's gonna be an added cooldown to her Fortify or Heart. I don't know if her lead shots are gonna be decreased a little bit so they're more faster pace. We'll just have to see. But is she overpowered? Someone who practices Orisa, this is how I'll end the video. Someone who practices Orisa will make the enemy team think that Orisa is overpowered. Someone who's just throwing around her ult ability, someone who's just throwing around her barrier and isn't practicing their shot with Orisa, won't make her be seen as overpowered. That's how I see Orisa. You have to practice her. Same thing with Sombra. You have to know the situation around you and just practice getting around them and just hacking the Rein barrier. Same with Ani. You have to practice your shots, because if you're not practicing your shot, you're not giving your team heals. And I totally forgot to talk about Orisa's ultimate, but I want to compare it to Sombra's ultimate, because I do feel like Sombra's ultimate is one of the most powerful in the game, but it has to be followed up. But if you use it correctly, bruh, you can bring down so much stuff. You can cancel out the enemy team ultimates, you can bring down shields, you can bring down barriers. So much can be just used with that Sombra ultimate when compared to Orisa's. I don't want to say it's a bit lackluster, but if you use it, it's not like you can totally sense a difference. You can totally sense this big, powerful surge inside of your body. It's sort of like Lucio in a sense. Yeah, the healing is there, but it's not like you can see the difference right there unless he amps it up. So same thing with Orisa's ultimate. Plus, you have to kind of protect it. So it's not like Symmetra's ultimate where you can just put it off to the side and boom, you get a shield right there. It has to be in line of sight, and it can be just easily taken out. The Sombra can hack it, the Pharah can easily shoot it. So you have to put it behind like the Orisa barrier. Just so much is going on trying to protect this little Congo drum or whatever you want to do, but it's still a good ultimate nonetheless. Is it the best ultimate in the game? I don't want to go that far. It's not, I don't feel like it's comparable to like a Sombra ultimate or a Zarya ultimate or anything like that, but it's still helpful nonetheless. Could it use a little bit of cooldown? I don't know. They did add more of a percentage to it that takes a bit more time to use the Congo drum, so you have to be smart with it and also try to protect it, but it's just there plain in sight. Since you have to be in its line of sight, you can't just put it off to the side. So maybe they can tweak around with it. I don't know, but I want to hear you guys' opinion on that. Orisa is one of those heroes you have to know the situation, and also once you just get down her shot, because there's no other gun like her that can just shoot out consistent damage, but you have to be consistent with it. The only thing I can think of is the Genji stars, maybe Zenyatta orbs, but again, you just have to practice that. Once you practice that and you just know the situation around you, you're gonna be solid with Orisa. Sometimes when you don't have a Rein on your team, but you want to have a more offensive team build, maybe you're on a control map, go with Orisa and you will do good. I promise you. I just promise you. So I want to hear you guys' thoughts when it comes to Orisa. Do you think she's overpowered, or do you think she's underpowered? In this video, I said that if you practice her, she will be overpowered. If you don't, she won't be. So I want to hear you guys' thoughts, because I'm sure your opinion is different than mine. So love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. More Overwatch videos to come, and bye.